Chapter 1. Birthday. I wonder if he will remember it's my birthday, Veata thought. Chances were there would be no gifts, and she would spend the day doing all the housework, as usual. But that did not prevent a smile from spreading across her face. Today, I'm 8. She prepared breakfast, enjoying the smells of fried eggs and curry wafting through the tiny, one-room shack. The smells reminded her of her mother's cooking, bringing a tinge of sadness to the happy day. It had been 2 years since her parents died from cholera, and she desperately missed them, struggling to keep their faces in her memory. She was sent to live with her uncle, who spent his days gambling. That is, when he wasn't passed out, drunk, or hitting her. Still, it was her birthday, and she was happy. Veata heard a low growl from the other side of the hut, and watched her uncle lazily roll off his sleeping mat. Rubbing his eyes, he sat up and grunted his disapproval at rising so early. "Good morning, Uncle," Veata said quietly. Her special eyes saw brown, flat swirls of color slowly shifting around her uncle. He was tired and groggy, but she was thankful he was not in a bad mood. Since the time of her first memories, Veata had always seen the colors surrounding others. Her mom had been a bright yellow, like the sun, and her dad a watery, bright green, like the rice fields he worked in. Her mom had always told her she had special eyes, and that hers were a gift, the ability to see the aura of others. But Veata did not know what aura meant. To her, they were just colors, and all living things showed her their true colors. Her uncle slowly stood up, a grimace crossing his face as he arched his back to stretch. With heavy feet, he walked over to the tiny stove and scooped up one of the fried eggs Veata had cooked. "I'm going to the city today," he announced. "You're coming with me. Clean up and get ready." Veata froze, her face flushed with anticipation at the unexpected birthday surprise. She had spent her entire life in their small village, and this would be her first trip to Phnom Penh, the capital city of Cambodia. Her uncle's colors changed from dingy brown to emerald green, with a shade of gray swirling around him. She'd never seen him this excited before. The bus ride was long and uneventful, but as the city came into view, she marveled at the tall buildings, paved streets, and thousands of cars. Veata swallowed a lump in her throat. "All those people," she thought. "They look just like the ants after I poke an anthill." The bus stopped in an older part of town, and her uncle motioned for her to get off with him. Veata silently followed her uncle through a maze of narrow and increasingly dirty alleys. The colors of those she passed varied like a rainbow, some dazzling and bright, while others were dull and dark. After turning down a new alley, Veata nearly collided with her uncle when he came to an abrupt stop outside a weathered green door. "Wait here," he said sharply, waving his finger at her. "I'm going inside to take care of some business. Don't you dare move." Veata nodded and waited patiently in the alley. But curiosity led her to explore her surroundings. Near a pile of trash, she found 2 small snails. Their colors were shimmering pink and silver. With the snails in one hand, she gathered up 2 sticks and built a makeshift track. "All right, little ones," she whispered, placing 1 snail in each lane. "Race!" The snails crept forward. One gradually veered into the middle stick. "Oh no, he's trapped!" Veata reached down to free the snail and heard the door open behind her. Her uncle exited with a stranger who had spiky black hair that was dyed red at the tips. The stranger handed her uncle a small stack of cash, and they shook hands. Veata tilted her head. "I've never seen Uncle smile before," she thought, as his colors exploded in dark green and violet. "There." Her uncle pointed dismissively at Veata. Looking greedily at his newfound wealth, he turned and walked away. Veata stood to follow, but the spiky-haired man grabbed her from behind, smothering her mouth with his dirty hand. She bit the man's hand and screamed, "Uncle, come back!"